Hello, everyone, and welcome into B&T Sports Talk Show. I'm your boy T, and I'm here with my man B. How you doing, B?
Good, man. It's Friday. We still
Yeah,
got one more day to go. But, man, Sunday cannot come quick enough.
that's right.
It can't.
That's right. It is championship weekend. We got the biggest games, the last four teams in the NFL competing for the rights to play for the championship in the Super Bowl. Before we get into our picks, as we normally do, I'm going to ask y'all to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button on the video. We appreciate it. And go check out some of our older Pick'em Dummies videos, as you'll see how great we are depending on the week. Depending on the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these are big games. Of course they are. These are the best teams remaining. So if y'all don't know what we do pick 'em dummies. That's every Friday. We're gonna pick against the spread, the NFL, and we always advise folks don't take our words for it, but listen in and have a little fun with this as we try our best. Um,
I'm telling you, people need to listen to you more than they should
oh
probably
man,
be
don't do
listening
that.
to me,
Don't
man.
do
You've
that,
had
man.
you've had a couple of 3-0s. You had
Yeah,
a
I
couple
did.
two and
I
ones,
did.
dude.
I
I
did.
had 2-1 in week one, and then after that, it's just been a no show of wins, to say the least. So don't listen to me. If you're gonna bet against me.
Yeah.
Although I picked the Packers last week.
Yes, you
I did
did.
pick the
Yes, you
Packers
did.
last week.
I
Yep,
actually
I'll take that.
I took the Texans in the points, which was the only game I think I messed up on. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But let's take a look. So we're gonna take a look at I'm taking the AFC. B's taking the NFC.
Yep.
This is what we've been doing all playoff long, mainly because I don't know if you noticed the man's shirt, but his hat, but he does not want to pick his team's game. So
Nope.
that leaves me with the chore of making sure I don't piss this guy off. So here we go. So we'll start with the AFC Championship game. The Kansas City Chiefs are going into Baltimore to face the Ravens. The Ravens, of course, come in hot with the better record overall. Kansas City coming off a huge win over the Bills, with basically by the by the skin of their chins and a very strong wind that pushed the tying field goal astray. So here we go. So the Ravens are a 4-point favorite. I am going to take the Chiefs and the points. I think this is going to be a very competitive game, in my opinion. I'm not saying that the Chiefs will win, but what I am saying is that this is going to be 3 points or less, and I think that both these teams are going to go head to head. You're going to see some haymakers go back and forth. The Kansas City defense has played fairly well and looked a lot better last week than the weeks before at the end of the regular season. The Ravens defense has been dominant all season. However, will they be able to cover Travis Kelce? And you never know what Mahomes is going to do. So can they shut him down? Can they put him on his back? One of the things that teams have not been able to do is sack Pat and put him on the ground and make him fear. Make him have a little fear when he's inside of that pocket. So we'll see if the Ravens can get that done. So again, I have the Chiefs and the points minus +4.
Mm-hmm.
On to you, sir.
But you're not picking them to win.
I didn't say I'm being real political about it. I'm being real political. I'm not picking them outright to win. I'm just saying it's gonna be a close game.
Well, I've got the NFC, and last week was a disrespectful spread to the Packers at +9.5, and they damn near won and covered that.
Did.
And this week is even more disrespectful. The Lions coming in, the NFC North champions. You know, at one point they were one of the best teams in the NFL. They've played a pretty good, consistent level of football all year. The Niners have some questions that need to be answered. I like Detroit +7.5. It moved up this week. The week started at +7, went down to 6.5, and now it's +7.5. I would take the Lions. Jared Goff this is his homecoming. It's for all the marbles. He's going to have his family support. There's a lot of sleeping on what this Lions team could do offensively and how bad they can torch the Niners here. We talked about it all week. If Thomas is anywhere near Amon-Ra St. Brown, they are going to expose him big time. And then the big thing for this is the running game. Detroit's running game is actually pretty decent with David Montgomery and Williams. So the Niners are going to have to respect the running game here. And that core Niner defensive line, they're going to need to step up big time. Otherwise, this game is going to be just as close as that Packers game. But I think the Lions are a better team than the Packers are to really prove this. This is a Lions team that has nothing to lose. They're not supposed to be in this position, but they're here. They've got all the momentum that they could use. The Niners are trying to figure out what happened last week. So I like the Lions plus 7.5.
All right. So you've got our picks. There were only 2 this week, so we didn't have a lot. But all the marbles are on the table. And one thing we will go over is, who we have. We've made our picks. Well, who do we have going into the Super Bowl? I got to say, I'll start first. I picked this team to be in the Super Bowl from the beginning of the season. I don't know if I can lay off of it now. I got to hold still. It's the only pick I have that has held true for this long. Mind you, I picked the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Vikings in the Super Bowl this year. And as you know, the Vikings are in dismay. We don't even know who they're going to have as a quarterback next season, let alone them competing in the playoffs. So I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. I do think the Chiefs will be playing and this is wishful thinking, but I would love to see some new blood. So I would love to see the Detroit Lions make it to the Super Bowl. I know there are a lot of Niner fans there, and the Niners have been to the Super Bowl before, but to see something like that for the city of Detroit, to see the Lions playing the Super Bowl for the first time ever, I think that's a great, great story. And like you said, the Marin kid coming back to play against his hometown team and Jared Goff is a story all its own. And I don't know about the Chiefs and Ravens game. I think that game has a chance to go either way. I got to be quite honest with you. There's a chance that the Ravens come out and their defense dominates, and obviously Lamar Jackson can make enough plays with his legs. And if I'm not mistaken, he got his tight end back. Is that correct?
Mark Andrews is active for this game, but to be quite honest with you, there's nothing wrong with Likely.
Yeah,
he's really stepped up. He stepped up in the role while Mark Andrews was out. Mark Andrews is the number one target for Lamar Jackson. Could he be used as a decoy? I mean, you could, but look, the man just came off of an ankle surgery. How much is he willing to really put out there for this game here? And this is all respect to Likely, but I think he's got to still take most of the load as far as plays go, and sprinkle in Mark Andrews every once in a while here. But I think the vocal point should be Likely here. It is nice to have Andrews back on the field, though. It really is.
And we may have talked about it a little bit last week, but the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to make sure that the Kansas City Chiefs cannot run the ball. They got to make them one-dimensional. So they got to make sure they shut down Pacheco. And it's going to be on those linebackers to be good in coverage, man, because that's what the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to do, is extend plays and get balls over the middle of the field. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, like I said, I really think it really has a lot to do with being able to put some type of pressure on Patrick Mahomes, which is not necessarily the most easiest thing to do. And he's not the most athletic quarterback, but he's just a guy that can figure out how to give himself 1-2 more seconds to get the ball off, and so, or a half second to get the ball off, and that's where the Ravens are going to have to shut the door. So I'll be curious to see how their defense plays. If they start putting pressure on Mahomes and they really start making it difficult for him to throw, I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs have shown in the past that, if their offense starts looking wonky and Patrick is not on point, things fall apart pretty quickly. I mean, they go as he goes. So we'll see how it breaks down. I want to talk about the Detroit game. I think my main concern is, it's kind of a similar story in that, and this is true of any game, is that you got to get pressure on the quarterback. But do you think that can the Lions do what Green Bay did, which is they did a good job of kind of putting some steps on God, why I remember this? Why am I forgetting this guy's name? On Purdy. Thank you. I almost said Murphy. I almost said Murphy. Why was I thinking Murphy? Anyway, so Purdy. So they did a good job putting pressure on Purdy, and he really looked kind of pedestrian most of the game. Can the Lions do the same thing with their defensive line?
I think they can. But honestly, what I think is going to be time of possession. Yeah. Detroit's going to have to milk the clock big time to keep the Niners off the field as much as they can. I just don't think that defense is as talented, to say the least. They have given up the most passing yards. So this could work to and against their favor here, because we've all seen what happens when Brock Purdy has that national spotlight. The Christmas game against the Ravens, he threw way too much. Yeah. And it did not work well. Now, but the reason why it didn't work well is because the Ravens were putting pressure on Purdy to get the ball out quicker than he wanted to. So if this becomes a throwing game, the Lions are going to have to do a good job trying to make Purdy uncomfortable in the pocket. It's another showcase for him to throw. How is he going to handle that showcase here?
Yeah. Same thing for Jared Goff, too, who can sometimes be a statue in the pocket. Although he's shown some resiliency lately. It'd be interesting to see how he does against Chase Young and Bosa, who are going to be, happy to get back there in the backfield and try to eat him up. So the Detroit Lions are going to have to get the ball out quick. They like to get the ball out over the middle of the field. You got Laporta and St. Brown, who are experts at doing that. We'll see if he has enough time to get the ball off, and they're going to have to really run the ball. And they found some magic in Gibbs last week, and I think you'll see a lot more of that this week as well. And one thing we saw with Green Bay is Green Bay actually was able to run the ball pretty well against the 49ers defense. So you have to think that Detroit is thinking, let's start there and then see if we can keep the defense honest before we start throwing the ball all over the place. And for the Niners, for heaven's sake, don't let Purdy throw the ball 50 times. Like you said, man, they've got Deebo Samuel back, which kind of helps out with some of their intermediate game and some of their yak plays where, a lot of the 5-yard catch turns into 15, 20 yards. So hopefully that helps them out. Depends on how healthy Deebo is. But yeah, man, they can't be throwing the ball 50 times. They really got to rely on their workhorse, who is Christian McCaffrey. And he's the guy that's going to get them to the promised land. He's the guy that won them the game last week. It was not Brock Purdy. And I will give Brock some credit. He did get some throws at the end of the game, but ultimately there were two touchdowns. One of them huge, coming off a Green Bay score by McCaffrey, about a 30 or 40 yard run. So this guy is legit, and that's where they need to be looking to feed the ball. So it should be equal. I'm hoping to see 25-25. It should be close, but if we start seeing the first drive, Brock Purdy's back there throwing the ball, first down and all that, man, yeah, man, it's not. I don't think that's going to work out too well.
No, they're going to have to go with their workhorse. Look, you can't get away with worked all year, which is Christian McCaffrey's got to set the tone for that offense there, because that will make the receiving game go so much easier for the Niners here. And it's a proven fact. Yeah. When the Niners are running the ball, that's when they are at their best here. So they got to get Christian McCaffrey going and going off in here. I know the Lions are one of the worst teams when it comes to pass defense, but don't change what's gotten you to this point here. Right. For the Lions, just stay aggressive. Continue with those fourth. I told them that they should get the points where needed, but you know what, Dan Campbell? If it's fourth down and the game's on the line, don't change. Go for it. Yeah. Just go for it.
You're right. Yeah.
Don't change anything here. It just go with what has gotten you there. If you don't go for it, then that's when you're gonna get scrutinized the most as far as, why are we changing what we do all year for this one game here? So I was all for getting points, but you know what? Fourth down, do your thing. 4th and 10, go for it. 4th and 30, go for it. Doesn't matter. You guys been doing it all year. Go for it on 4th down.
And I almost guarantee you there's going to be some play during this game where they will indeed have to make that choice. And it may be the difference between making an impression on the 49ers defense and really giving some life to their team in this game, because they're gonna need it when you're playing against a defense this good. And although, to be honest, against Green Bay, this defense looked okay. It looked okay. But they're going to have to be better against Detroit. And Detroit's got to find that magic. So if they can find a way to, again, if they get out and score early, and match with the Niners, now you're starting to put pressure. You know what I mean? I still think Detroit is going to operate as an underdog in this game, just because the 49ers have been the better team all season. So we'll see how it works out, man. But I'm really excited, man. I can't sit in here and say that I definitely know one of these teams will beat the other, which is what you want to see in the that's the way it should be in championship weekend, right? These are the best teams.
Exactly.
You know, unlike the NBA.
I can't wait, man.
Unlike the NBA, where you end up with some whack teams somehow make it in there, like the Lakers, who somehow make it out of the play-in tournament to get all the way to the Western Conference Final. Not in the NFL. It's one game.
Yes, sir. Cool.
All right, folks. Well, we look forward to. Actually, of course, we have a show Sunday night, so 6:30 p.m. Oh, well, actually, scratch that.
At the conclusion of the half hour after the game. After the game.
We want to watch the game, y'all, and so at the conclusion of the game, we will then get on and start our show. That way, we have the latest game fresh in mind, and we'll be ready, and I'm sure y'all will be too. We're excited. Can't wait to have folks join us to talk about who will be playing in the Super Bowl to be the NFL World Champion. Yeah, I said it. Doesn't matter, does it?
Remember, don't say it. What are they a world champion? Come on, man. That Olympic sprinter. Dude, he ain't probably never won a gold medal, and he wants to talk about world champion. Get the hell out of here with that, man. It's a diverse sport, man. Yes, it is a world championship because there's multiple countries involved with this. Hey, so it is a world championship.
Pick your country, and come get some. I'm pretty sure we're going to beat you. So that's just the way it's going to be. Nobody else plays football.
That guy. No, that guy was stupid. I hope he never says something like that again.
Kick rocks. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Until Sunday, we'll see you then. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your family. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button on the video. Hit the notification button as well. Again, we'll be here on Sunday night at the conclusion of the Detroit 49ers game, talking about the games. So until then,
let's do it.
Peace.
Peace.